Hey everybody, Heather here from HeathersHobbieHaven, and I'm going to be doing some Copic hair color and skin coloring swatches over here on the Paper Nest Dolls blog. And so I thought I would do up a quick tutorial on how I would color the image so that you could see how it's done, and then you can choose to do it that way or you can choose to do it whichever way you want. So I'm going to start by coloring my face first, just in case you want to color the skin in before you do the hair. And for that I'm going to use E21, E00, E000. For the cheeks I'm going to use R20 and R30, and this is just my favorite skin tone. If you have a favorite skin tone, then just go ahead and use that. So let's get started. So I like to color from dark to light, so I'm going to start with E21 first, and I'm going to go ahead, even though I'm not going to color her t-shirt, I'm going to color her arms because it just made it look weird for me that she didn't have her arms colored in. So I'm going to go down here and I'm just going to outline her arm, and then I'm going to do a little dab on each side of her little neck, and then we're going to go up here and I'm going to color an outline around her face just to give it a little bit of shadow. And I'm going to go up here and do the same thing around her hairline. And then I'm going to grab E00, and because her arms are so small, I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. And I always touch my pin down on top of the color I last colored, just so that it will soften that line up when I pull it out. And same for her neck, because it's so small, I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. And then I'm going to take my pencil, and again I'm going to lay down on top of the E21, and I'm going to flick out into the middle of her face with my E00. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for this side. And up here on the bangs, and down here on her chin. Then I'm going to grab E000, and I'm going to again touch down on E00, and I'm going to fill that space in. And I'm not worried if it's not blended perfectly, because I'm going to go over it again after I do her cheek. So I'm going to grab R20, and I'm going to give her a couple of little circles for her cheeks. And then I take my R30, and I touch down in the middle of my R20, and I just lightly flick away from that R20, just to soften the edges. Okay, and then I'm going to go back, like I said, and redo her face. So I'm going to grab E00, and I'm just going to start up here at the top, and I'm just going to flick away from the sides of her face, down here on her chin, and this is softening that little line that I still had left over. And the same for on this side. And then I'm going to take the E000 and just brush into the middle. And that colors her skin, so now let's do her hair. So for her hair, I'm going to be using E55, E53, E51, and E50. I'm going to start with my E55. And I always add my shadows first. So let's just go up here at the top of her head, and she's got a little part right here. So I'm just going to take my E55 and I'm going to flick away from that part. Okay, and then she's got a little piece of hair right here that is over the top of this piece. So I'm going to give this little section that's behind a little flick. And then I'm going to do each one of these little tips down here. And then right here, she's got some hair that's behind her head, so I'm going to go ahead and give each one of those just a little bit here at the top. And then she's got a little space between her arm right here that's showing. I'm going to go ahead and just fill that in. And then I'm going to get this little section that's coming out from behind her sleeve. Okay, that covers that side. So let's go do this side. So again, I'm going to go up here for her part, and I'm going to flick some color in to that part. And then she's got a little barrette right here. Well, the little barrette's going to cast a shadow, so I'm going to go ahead and flick on that side of the barrette, this side of the barrette, and then where it dips down behind this hair right here, I'm just going to give that a little flick. Okay, and then down here again behind where her hair's behind her neck, I'm going to go ahead and get that. And then she's got this little section right here that's over the top of her hair. So I want to get that. And where it comes back out on the other side, it's going to cast a little bit of a shadow. So you want to give that a little dab. And again, she's got this little section here behind her arm. I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. And then you want to get each one of these, the ends of each of these little, well, the end of her hair here. And this one here that's pulling over and coming behind her shirt, I'm going to give that a little flick. But I'm also just going to give it just a little bit up here where it's kind of curling around the back side of her hair. So next I'm going to grab E53. And I want to just add some more color. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this side, and again I want to put my pin down on top of my E55. So I'm going to sit it down on top of my E55, and I'm just going to flick down into her hair. And I want to get each one of those dark spaces. We'll add a little bit more color on this one. Go down here and get the ends of her hair. You just want to touch down on all that dark color that you laid down so that you're going to be softening those lines. Let's go over here and get this side. Just work our way around our girl here. I guess her name's Avery. Like that. And then of course we want to go up here at the top, so we want to get this little section. And where her breast, well, that's pretty close, so it's going to touch that one. So let's go ahead and pull this one up so that it meets this little bit right here. So then it won't look weird later when we add some more color. Okay, and then we want to soften this line at the very top where her roots are. So we're going to bring that down around like so. Next, I'm going to grab E51. Same thing, you're going to want to set your pin down on top of the E53. So I'm going to start with my pin right on E53 and flick E51 and just add some more color. Flick up from this one, flick up from this one. And this down here is run out of space, so I'm just going to fill that in. Same with right here behind her neck. And then I think I'll pull this color up because it's got a little bend right here. I'm going to pull it up past the bend. And then on this side, over here, we're going to run out of space. I'm going to fill that little area in. I'm going to flick this little strand a little bit. And we'll flick each one of these little sections. And right through there. And then we're going to go up here at the top. And we want to add some color up here. And whoops, and I forgot this little section. Let's go ahead and pull this up here a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So next I'm going to take my E50 and I'm going to fill it in. So I'm going to again touch down on top of the E51 and I'm just going to brush down all the way. And even if I've already filled it in, I'm just going to go ahead and brush over that color, just because if the lines aren't softened all the way like I like, it will blend those colors a little bit more. Here, go up here and get her roots. And like that. So after I've colored the hair all the way in, I go back with my darkest color, which is E55, and I add a few streaks. So like up here where her roots are, I'm going to go, and I'm going to hold my pen more straight up and down than I did when I was coloring it. And I just lightly go in and add some strands of hair, and I go past where I put the E55 the last time. So it's going to go into the next colors. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just add a few little strands in there, darken it up. And it just depends on the image as to where I want to add those, but let's add just a few down here underneath of that cute little barrette. And let's add a few right here where it dips in behind this little strand. And we'll get some of these. And then over here where it's dipping behind, I'm going to add a few little streaks. And I think I'll add a little bit where it kind of tucks behind over here. But that is our image, and then I left some spaces over here on the side where you can take your pens, and I fill in my boxes in the color that I colored. So I would put my E55, because I used it first, in this box. And then, you know, write E55 over here. And then you could do E53, E51, and E50, just so you'll know later for your swatch book which direction and which order you colored them in. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.